So getting the coach there able to just be the stats man, offer opinions, advise on the draft is really kind of fun to see, and I think it results in higher level gameplay.
Yeah, especially, when it comes to picks and bans. Also the fact that they're still there between the games in the series as well, right? So they can help make adjustments to the picks and bans for the following games. Talk about what went right and what went wrong in each of the games.
Having an external POV, sitting outside of the room, keeping an eye on things as they develop, and then reporting back with a clean perspective. Okay. I'm a little bit speechless. Telenas, the first ban coming through from South America.
Sounds kind of South American. Telenas?
I can't offer an opinion on that. I can offer an opinion on the viability of Telenas, and it's not high.
What about the Arrow of Chaos?
No.
No, it pushes people around, stuns them. Sounds useful.
It's not. It is if you're playing in bronze.
Yeah.
Very useful for my games.
Mine too. I'm just saying.
Not very useful in competitive playing. That hasn't been since the very beginning of the EU meta. I haven't seen a Telenas in competitive play since before the Valor series.
Maybe it was like a typo on your cell phone. Sometimes you swipe left, you swipe right.
I think that's called a swipe-o.
A swipe-o? There you go. It's a swipe-o. They swipe-o'd on Telenas.
Okay. First ban aside, everything else is pretty bog standard.
Sure. Yeah, we've got the Lindis out there, the Malik, Superman, and Teamy out on the Thailand wildcard side. What will be the final ban from KSSA?
Probably something silly like Telenas.
A double Telenas ban?
Yeah,
Have you ever seen a double ban?
Who knows? Maybe she's not out. Gotta make sure.
Just to make sure, the double check ban?
Like I said, I'd expect the focus to be on tanks, as Taiku's their best. South America do play a number of very good support and tank characters. That's why this Grak is banned, I assume, alongside the teaming.
Indeed. So now, what do you think South America should go? There's a lot of stuff available on the board, right?
Yeah, I'd like to see actually an Omen, because we've seen very, very efficient use of the Omen. If you're playing to your strength, pull out that Zenial. Taiku is extremely good on it. As a first pick, you have a lot of options to choose from right now.
Yeah, and Romeo on that Thailand wildcard side actually plays both of those champions you just meant, Omen and Zenial. So whichever one they pick, I have a feeling Thailand's going to try to secure the other.
And they're very good counters to each other. That's why I'd predict the Omen coming in first, because you can actually pull out the Angelic Splendor with the Omen. Death's Embrace is also very good for diving into the middle of fights. I really like Omen these days, but we're going to get Arum.
Indeed, Arum, as we saw just in the last game, very good early game, which we didn't get to see in the last game, but also her snare so effective later on as well. And the Omen and the Zenial coming out on the Thailand wildcard side.
And that's kind of why I wanted to see the Omen picked up, because the fact that it was on the board means that this can happen, and you now need to pick something into that Zenial in the top lane that can interrupt the Angelic Splendor.
What would you suggest for something like that?
We saw Arduin attempted earlier by EU for that purpose. I don't really mind that. Scud, if you run him in top lane, maybe that works.
Okay, Scud looks maybe potential. There's Wild Beast Fury. What about his charge punch?
Yeah, I don't actually know if that interrupts Angelic Splendor. It's a bit odd
Fury's
sometimes.
charge? Yeah, it is.
But we do have the Crixie coming through as well. Arum Crixie is a decent combo. Of course, when you're running Crixie, what you primarily want is things that set up the Crixie to find big damage.
Right. And once you see that Uncaged come out from Arum or that snare, it's just going to be a sitting target for Crixie there. Hit that Nature's Wrath, send out some mischief at him, call out the Moonfall. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And same thing's going to happen, even with Hesuino, Feta's Scud. Once he gets to displace everyone, you can call out Crixie and pull up the Nature's Wrath there, some mischief when they're all trying to find their spot on the map even. And it looks like Wonder Woman and Violet now coming out for Thailand wildcard side. So now they've got an Omen, a Zenial, Wonder Woman, and a Violet as well.
Yeah.
Looking pretty strong, pretty tanky.
Fun fact, currently Arum, or actually heading into today, Arum had a 66% win rate across the 3 matches she'd been played.
A little bit lower today, maybe?
Yeah, it would have been lower today. So I'm actually interested to know what that's about. I suspect it's not because Arum's a bad character. It's because, like in this draft, you have to sacrifice so much to draft her. You need to let your opponent kind of run away with the draft in order to get that first pick. And if your second pick is the kind of double tap of Omen and Zenial, I think you're set.
Right. And this is kind of crazy. Now, South America actually getting both Crixie and Alice, which we've seen be such an effective team together today. You know, we saw it earlier with NA. We saw it just a second ago in our last matchup. And closing out their picks with Fennec.
Okay, so Fennec is an odd character because we haven't seen, for instance, we haven't seen nearly as much Fennec as I think we have.
Right.
But the other thing about Fennec is they've really only been run by the Chinese team, and the Chinese team run them very, very well. The primary advantage of Fennec is if you get those Thief's Mark, the passive, applied multiple times onto a singular target, you can explode them.
Yeah, tons of damage comes out of it. That chain hammer cycle, pretty good by itself too. You just place it and let it sit there, right?
Yeah, so what South America needs to really worry about right now is damage to their backlines. Fennec only has one dash. Crixie has none. Alice is vulnerable to focus. If at any point during these team fights, Thailand Wildcard gets into the backlines and is able to murder those glass cannon characters from the back, it's over.
But how do they get that far in?
Well, I'd look to the Wonder Woman, the Liliana, the Omen, as very, very aggressive, penetration-focused characters. Then you have the Violet, who doesn't need to commit to these team fights because ideally she's staying mobile on the backlines, pounding in damage.
From far away.
And that's exactly what Kit's going to look to do. They need to very aggressively shut down the Violet at the start of these fights.
Yeah, I really like the picks that came out of South America here. There is the handshake between the captains. This is going to be game number 1 coming up between South America and Thailand Wildcard. And just to run down the teams against South America, they've got Crayon Alice, Jesawino Farah on Fennec, Myth with Crixie, ZRK with Arum, Takuyu with Scud. And on the Thailand Wildcard side, we've got Liliana coming out for the Drui. We've got Taos with the Wonder Woman, KSSA, support with Zenial, Kit with the Violet, so effective at jungle as you mentioned, and Romeo with that Omen, always so effective. It's going to be a pretty hard matchup for them.
Yeah. Romeo, once again, coming into today, off of the one match they'd played, he had a 3.25 KDA.
Wow, that's insane. And he is, like I said, he's one of the superstars of this Thailand wildcard composition.
Yeah, keep an eye on Romeo. There's no other way to say it. And especially on the Omen, he's going to be the player you're really looking to dive in and shut down the back lines.
Yeah, so a little Furious Charge coming out of there early. Letting Omen know that he's going to be paying attention to him. And KSSA, with that Zenial, going to be looking for him to cause a lot of disruptions later in the fight.
I know you're a big fan of Alice these days. What are you looking for from the Alice, Cray, here?
Oh, I mean, I just like to see an Alice that's causing a lot of stunts. It's just stunning people with the sunshine whenever you're around. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's part of a team fight. Just making them think about always, just slowing him down. Just every time you get hit by one of those sunshines, you're always like, you know, that wasn't fun. I don't want to be here.
That's actually exactly the words that go through my head. Every single time.
And there it is. See, Sunshine and Drewy right now, he's like, man, I hate this game. You know, but he loves it, obviously. He's competing here.
I think his thought was, man, you know, that wasn't fun.
No, exactly right. The Mischief now poking him too. As we mentioned, the Alice comp with the Crixie at the same time, just so annoying to deal with.
And it works very, very well. We talked about how the matchups would have to work into the Zenial, shutting down the Zenial Angelic Splendor. You can actually see that Zenial's currently playing Roam, because not hard committed to any lane.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have to. And you can see here the 4-man rotation from South America up top. They're trying to cut off that farm up ahead. And now Drewy trying to cut him off too.
I like the lane cut. That will give them an opportunity to pressure the top, and they're putting a lot of effort into cleaning out that jungle.
Yeah, and that uncaged that time, sending Taos, cutting him off. And back up here, we've got him pushing up this top lane again.
This time, though, Thailand Wildcard have 3 people present. This is going to be an even fight, and South America are suddenly no longer interested in taking it.
Yeah, and we're at the 2-minute mark now. So we see the dragon is going to be spawning, and you see the teams are now rotating back towards the bottom half of the map.
Yeah, that was why that rotate towards the bot side began. You can see South America gave up on the top lane, but Romeo, that all-impressive, oppressive player, is still there and still pushing lane.
Yeah, he's content to sit up there all day. And right now you can see South America coming in for this dragon. Taos, though, sitting around. He's got the vision.
Watch the Fennec is a very good killer of this dragon, given the Thief's Mark passive. Moonfall will come through from Myth, primarily from zoning. Taos comes in with the bracelet, and he's unable to find the stun. He'll successfully retreat for now.
Yeah, so this is a good start for South America. They're able to secure that first Abyssal Dragon and take a small gold lead here early. Romeo coming on down, too, to trying to cut him off.
And Taiku gets out. We were talking a lot about how Romeo was controlling that part of the map, but Taiku actually managed to get the wave balanced. That tower has taken no damage, and he returned to the fight.
Yeah, very nice stuff here. And as you mentioned, that's Zenial. He is roaming around. He doesn't care where he needs to be. He hasn't been forced to use his ultimate anywhere yet, so he's just happy. And you can see now South America, they're rotating back around, trying to get more gold by maybe potentially rotating to bring Kindred Spirit Sentinel as well.
And so far, that gold is directly even, so the Spirit Sentinel does make a difference.
And here we go. It looks like they might be cut off here. You have to be careful as they try to close it out here.
Yeah, they don't go for the close. Taiku, hard split, Death Embrace will land. There's the Wild Beast Fury, just stalling for time, but there is not enough time in the world. First blood will be collected.
Yeah, that was beautiful. The Uncaged came through while that Death Embrace was there. He had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. Prey and Myth do have a place to hide, though, behind that Hissy Fish in the top lane.
Yeah, that Hissy Fish, of course, so good at zoning out your opponent from pushing in on a tower. And right now, though, they still have some trouble up there in that top lane. No one's there to defend it. The minion wave is coming back. And Thailand, they've got 3 players up there.
This is what happens when you let a Violet chew on your tower.
Goodbye, first tower to Thailand.
This is your tower on Violet. Bot lane pressure.
Oh, is that going to stun?
Yeah, nice pressure because Towers has to go forward to avoid that Uncaged. Of course, the final tick the most dangerous.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, though. Thailand, they're aware of all the ultimates, staying out of it, not taking much damage on the tower or anything.
Yeah, it was very well played by Towers. He doesn't. I think I definitely reflexively fall back once I see all those projectiles coming in. That gets you in trouble. You want to be able to play forward, narrowly stay between the Chainhammer Cyclone, which is, of course, providing massive damage stacks, and the Uncaged.
Yeah, and here you see that Uncaged came through with that death damage. Look at Taki, he's just trapped there. There's nowhere to go. And Romeo securing the kill.
Oh,
the damage!
I don't know how you stay alive in the middle of that.
don't!
The Fennec almost does. Moonfall will come through. Mid finds value, but he's currently chained in by the Death's Embrace. The Angelic Splendor's coming through as well. South America are falling. However, they do have a turnaround. Taiku hard commits to the back line and manages to stabilize, slow down the fight. They only lose 1 more than their opposition.
Yeah, just a 2-1 in favor of Thailand, but Thailand also getting the tower in the mid lane as well. So now they've got a 2-tower advantage and even more of a goal lead.
Very nicely done by South America to stabilize, though. I do like that from them. They're definitely the underdogs, so small victories like that have to be noted.
Without a doubt, they are the underdogs here, but now it looks like they are going to be rotating back to the Dragon, or at least setting up for it after getting that Seagull.
You can take a look at the gold lead currently. It is in favor of Thailand, and if they're able to get this Dragon, it will be significant.
Yeah, and you can see right now, South America, they're well positioned to try to contest this Dragon.
I don't think they want to or can, given the levels.
Yeah, definitely not. That Dragon easily going in Thailand's favor, and now the goal lead over 2,000.
Nice pickup. Alice stunned out, or pulled in by the Death's Embrace, rather.
Yeah, Thailand, a little conservative that time. They didn't want to go in on her.
A lonely Alice.
Yeah, a lonely Alice in the jungle.
And that's good to see, because it shows that Thailand still definitely have done enough damage. They're scared to full commit onto what could be a trap. But it's also ideal to focus out that Alice like that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So I really like that they didn't engage that fight, and now South America looking to maybe rotate up here towards this Omen.
You can see several South America players kind of waiting in the brush around this Dark Slayer, this Omen. Romeo in the top lane. We've pegged him as a focus. CRK, though, he's the primary focus for now. He'll be pulled in by the lasso and executed. There needs to be quick movement from South America.
That was very nice. Tao's landing, that braces the submission, gets a stun, and then lassos him back in before he could get away. And this is going to be yet another tower for Thailand Wildcard.
And I think they might have revenge. Romeo's caught out, his Juliet is Taiku, but they've split up.
Yeah.
It's a rocky relationship.
Yeah, it's not how it works out. Families don't agree. And there you go, yet another one. Man, 2 towers in a row. These towers just falling. We're at the 7-minute mark, and Thailand already has 4 towers down and a 4K gold lead.
If only Zhao were not born a Thailand World Cup player.
Yeah, definitely. Poor Romeo.
That's a script. Romeo will survive, though. And as such, they're still doing very well compared to the South Americans at level, particularly in this top lane. Taiku will fall. ZRK is there to try and contest, but all he can really do is the Aramis zone, and it's requiring all of the South America players to hold on to that tower, which means there's going to be pressure elsewhere now.
Yeah, without a doubt. Look at it. Thailand rotating to whatever tower they want. The rest of South America was actually defending the mid tower, but no one was there. Surprise, surprise. Over at the top lane, Thailand gets yet another one, and now they rotate. Easy mid tower for them to pick up as well. Now the tower leads 6-0. Thailand Wildcard starting to run away with this one.
If you have a Crixie
Yes.
and you pop the Moonfall
Yes.
and they bathe in the moonlight,
Sounds good.
you have a problem. That problem is that your farm has fallen behind and badly, and I think it's going to be even worse now that the Dark Slayer has been picked up.
It's like more like a moon massage or something, you know?
That's good.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I'm up for it. A massage by moonlight sounds dangerous because it's all like chiropractic.
Sounds ideal to me.
Well,
Moonlight massage, I'm down.
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think you've solved me. With the Slayer buff in hand, Thailand need to keep pressuring further forward, and they're entirely capable of doing that. But they're going to make a stop, a drive-by, grab the Abyssal Dragon with some fries on the side first, build up that gold lead to make sure it's absolutely dominant before they go for the game end.
Yeah, they're waiting for that minion wave to push up as well. They're going to clean out more of the jungle on their way there. And you can see they're just waiting for all these lanes to come to so they can start pushing in on these high ground towers. And right now, South America, what are you going to do to stop them here? I mean, you've got a lot of options. It's got to make something happen.
It's got to come from the CC. I want to see a combo of the Uncaged with the Hissy Fit. Once you have the players locked down, the Chainhammer Cyclone comes through. Unfortunately, we've just seen several of those ults used and none of the ground gained. And so long as they don't find pressure, Kit is just going to chip away at the towers.
Yeah, it was just that Chainhammer Cyclone went down. All the rest of the ults still up for South America. There's the mission to try to clear out the wave. But you can see that one high ground tower already down.
It's so hard to defend against this. The Violet already finding value. Towers will melt with the aid of the combo we were asking for. Kissa will go in with his Angelic Splendor, but it's too late. The problem is, that's not a good trade.
No, not at all. And right now, you know, Thailand, though, they still have total control. Another high ground tower going to go down. And South America, this is your last stand, brother. You're going to try to get this high ground tower in the middle, too. You're going to lose all three of them.
Well, they have one high ground tower to defend, and Kit's already working away. The tower has fallen, and here comes the push for game. Thailand Wildcard looking to put their staple on game one of this elimination series.
Yeah, they recognize now they're outnumbered. They're going to retreat just for a little bit, potentially pick up that Slayer buff, maybe go for a Sentinel, or at least just push all the waves so they have continual pressure to come back and close out the game at the core.
So actually, both of the wildcard teams have occasionally struggled to close out games. The mark of the dominant team in any region, like the North American team, Allegiance for a good comparison, is the top team is typically the best at ending games.
That's a very interesting stat. And you can see right now, Thailand wildcard working their way through the jungle. And it's going to be so hard for South America just to even fight back here. You can see the Violet over there on Kit going back. He's going to solo that dragon, no problem. Give us even more of a gold lead. It's over 10K. We're at 11K gold lead, so 1,000 gold per minute lead.
It's over a 10K lead. That Violet's almost at 10K themselves. That's almost 9,000 gold on the Violet alone.
Yeah, Violet's got to not compete here. Make it a 4 or 5 just to make it even, right? But look at all of the super minions coming down as well.
Super minions, 3 of them accompanying each Thailand wave. And the wildcard team is looking for the game end. There's the pressure from Druid, the stun coming through. Already the damage from that Violet so immense that people just have to go back to base every single time they're hit by it.
Yeah, and a lot of beautiful sunshines here landing everyone, but they're just getting pushed further and further back.
This should be it.
Yeah,
Game
Thailand
coming up. Kit will poke away. Surely one more good hit. The wave is clear. It's taking a little bit too long. Druid commits to the damage as well, though. And with the aid of the Liliana in Fox form, the base will be scratched to death. Game 1 to Thailand Wildcard.
Thailand Wildcard making it look easy. South America just really didn't have anything rolling for them. I don't even think they got a tower, did they?
Poke and top lane.
They got some poke and top lane. Is that what they got?
Yeah.
Don't you said?
They
Okay.
had a good top lane in the beginning.
It's a good start.
Romeo was being held at bay, which is nice enough because we did talk about how good Romeo was. But yes, Thailand Wildcard are looking strong for that second part, the second seed in the group.
Yeah, and you look at Kid here, 6 out of the 8 kills on the entire Thailand team, and Romeo the other 2.
Could we see damage percentage for Kit?
Oh, we're gonna. Oh, just for Kid?
Oh my god! Interestingly enough, Drury with 7 assists. I thought maybe he was just doing poke. Liliana's oftentimes get a lot of assists because of the wide radius of the shining light. That's that big burst of AoE. He actually does 37% of his team's damage.
Yeah, even more percentage damage than Violet did with Kit. But man, that blinding light underneath the bush at the end there was so much damage to it.
And you can always see that when one team gets out far ahead, you'll see things like this.
Yeah, Taku getting caught out there with that Death's Embrace, going down, of course he is. And then the river fights, this Moonfall just not doing a whole lot of damage early for them. And everyone getting caught out. It just was not a good start for them at all.
Yesterday, Kit in the jungle, the Violet, actually had the highest gold per minute of any player that played so far.
Wow.
I don't know if that's still true today, but coming into today, Kit held the title of the highest gold per minute.
I mean, when you start off a game and you go 6-0, that's going to help your gold per minute as well. This is a short game.
He's just a very, very, very good farm, and you can see why the man's got some tractors.
Yeah, he just farms heroes.
Yes, maybe that's the answer. We're like, oh man, he's got super efficient jungle routing. No, he's just got super efficient kill routing.
Right. How'd he do in his KDA at least?
I can actually check that, but it'll take me a moment.
Sure.
Hold on.
While you do that, I'll give you the post-game breakdown. Thailand, you see it there. 8-2 and 22. That was their KDA. Total gold, 12K lead almost. Just significant. 9 towers to 0. Perfect stuff.
Kit coming into today had a 2.33 KDA.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah. But it does highlight, given his gold gain was so high, that is just very, very efficient farming. And that's good for the entire team. Even if most of that gold that he's picking up is going just onto him, you can see, especially in this game where there's that much of a gold lead, that gold benefits your entire team because it's taken from the entire opposing side.
Right, and I believe right now they are going to be getting ready for game number 2, and I think they're actually going to be swapping sides this time around. So Thailand Wildcard going to be going over to the blue side, and South America going to be on the red side.
I don't know if that changes things for the teams.
Nope, but most teams tend to prefer taking the blue side when they have a chance to.
And we've seen, I'd actually love to see the win rates for blue versus red side.
Yeah, I would too.
Because I saw during Valor series, there was some stat I think that favored the red side significantly.
Really?
Which surprised me.
Surprising me, just you saying that right now.
And I'm doing this from memory, I don't have this on note, but I remember it differed wildly depending on the region.
Wow,
So
okay.
it would be interesting to see the results of the global competition. I suspect it's pretty evenly split.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious about it. It should be evenly split, right? Just the way the picks and bans work in terms of order and how many you get. So, I mean, you can see here we talked about the coaches earlier. What do you think South America has to change up here?
I think they frankly had a decent draft. They didn't really do a great job in the team fights of leveraging their backline characters. We saw especially that Crixie, one of the highest damage characters in the game right now, I'm sure doing very well in overall win rate. But not really finding much that game, because every time there was a Moonfall active, every time they had the opportunity to do those lethal combos, they were unable to find solid connections and not able to stay alive throughout the entire fight.
Yeah, and we really thought, or I really thought at least, that the Alice Crixie combo is going to be effective, especially throwing Arm in there with an uncased on top of it. I thought, if you could chain all those things together, you could get something good going. But as you mentioned, we just never really saw it all come together.
And that is so difficult to do. I know South America's a newer team. Having that level of coordination, even in normal, ideal conditions, is difficult. To have it against one of the best teams in the world is intimidating and nigh on impossible. And so much of that comes down to the current meta, which I think very much favors characters that can disrupt team play.
Characters that can disrupt team play, such as, like Scud?
Yeah, Scud's a good example, but I more focus on people like Alice, characters that can dive in and change the field of the battle. Alice is a bad example because she doesn't dive.
She doesn't dive in there at all, no. She just throws out a hissy fit from a distance.
The hissy fit comes through, or you can see characters like the Violet or Lindis who don't actually dive in, but because of their presence, you have to adapt your team play to get back to them, and that changes your goal mid-fight. You may go into the fight with a plan, but the second the Lindis pops out of the bush, you have to go, all right, guys, we need to dive that Lindis.
Right.
And only the best teams can make that call and make it cleanly in the middle of a hectic team fight.
Yeah, very difficult to do. But you see the first bans coming out now. It's going to be Omen from the Thailand wildcard side. Interesting enough because, we know that the Romeo loves to play that Omen. And then South America getting their first ban put out on the Man of Steel Superman. And a second ban for Thailand wildcard gonna be the Malik. Have we seen a Malik yet from South America? That's what I'm wondering.
I know South America play very good tanks. I suspect they've run the Malik in the past, but it's just a very good solid ban right now. Malik's a very powerful character, and because he's not nearly as dramatic as some people like Teamy, he gets kind of slept on. But every fight he's in, he does big value.
Without a doubt. And the Zenial ban now from Thailand wildcard.
Zenial coming through as one of the most effective top laners, split laners, because the ability to Angelic Splendor instantly into a fight. And speaking of those all-powerful tank characters, you're going to see Aurum removed as well.
The Teamy pick, though, for Thailand wildcard. South America leaving it on the board with that Lindis ban, perhaps. I mean, they're running out of choices here.
Yeah, and that Teamy is so powerful. I classify Teamy as the best support. It's
best?
Close.
Number
Alice
one?
is up there. Alice is up there.
Yeah.
But I think Teamy does all Alice does and more, because the number one thing Alice does very, very well is she can protect your backline. Teamy can bring your backline back from the dead. He has unholy powers of resurrection.
But they do come back not at full health, right? I mean, they come out with some damage.
All
a lot
rituals have some amount of sacrifice involved.
I think it's great to bring your heroes back, but it's questionable sometimes. 'Cause a lot of times I feel like when I've seen the Teamy being a Bro Ultimate used, people come back to life, they get resurrected, but then they're immediately cleaned up again because they've already lost the team fight in the first place.
Well, it is very much situation dependent.
Sure.
And the best ones are the Teamy ults that manage to save their ally, that manage to resurrect a key DPS player from the back line.
And then also bring back the fight.
Speaking of key DPS, though, we do get South America locking in both a Rourke and a Flash.
Yeah, very nice picks out of South America. Their Flash has been a consistent pick from them throughout the boot camp and everything. So I'm really excited to see this Flash come back. And now they're thinking about Fennec and the Joker.
That would be odd to me because none of this is frontline. To me, I look... There we go. Nice swap. I would like the Arduin much, much more. This composition, though, still seems paper thin.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a last pick. What would you like to see back there based on what they have currently?
If you could lock in a Grak, maybe that could make up for the amount of dive you're going to have to stop. But to be frank, Grak's so difficult to play, as we've seen from various teams that have picked him because he's meta. If you don't have a good Grak player, you can't make him work, and he's worse than most other supports.
How about like a Chognar then?
I'm really not
I know you hate Chognar.
I'm really not a fan of the Chognar. You can run him if you like. I think there are other tanks I would prefer more.
Wonder Woman might be picked up by Thailand wildcard.
I'd like a Wonder Woman over on the South America side. And I'm sure they would as well. Romeo
How about a Zill?
looks to lock him in. This Zill is fun. We haven't seen a Zill in ages. But he's quite fun in the jungle.
But we're not getting one. We get a Slims, not a Zill. You got excited for a moment thinking about it.
This is good because both Slims and Fennec are in this game.
Yeah.
So I can just play off whenever I mess them up.
Yeah, you can be like, yeah, there's Fennec throwing his flying spear. No problem.
And I especially like the fact that we still get this Crixie. Oh, Lumber.
Yeah, that was a good choice for what you were thinking, right? You didn't mention him, but that's a better choice maybe than you'd like over Chognar.
I didn't mention him, but I like him.
Right.
The big thing with Lumber, of course, is it's very easy to get over-aggressive. If you can land your CC, though, Earth Splitter is a major team fight ultimate because it's very long. It is the longest of Earth Splitters, which means if you're at the back of the fight and you're, say, a Crixie, thinking you can hover out of range and rain in damage from the Moonfall, that Lumber ult can still reach you and toss you up in the air a little bit.
Yeah, combining that with the Rend out of the Arduin sounds like a pretty good combo in itself, too.
The authentic San Francisco experience.
Oh, yeah? Earth Splitter followed by a Rend?
Earthquakes, mostly. But...
Gotcha. I mean, you know you're in Los Angeles right now. We have the San Andreas Fault here, too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like a whole California thing, isn't it?
That's why it's going to break off into the ocean, they say.
I'm on board with that. We got an island, and I think Thailand Wildcard might be ready to plan their vacation as well, because this looks like a great draft for them. And as a reminder, if they win this, they're guaranteed to go on to the quarterfinals.
Without a doubt, here we go. Looks like they're going to get into it in just a second. But here is the compositions for both teams. Thailand Wildcard going with the Crixie, the Wonder Woman, the Teamy, Slims, and the Scud. And over on South America, we've got Fennec coming out with the Flash, Arduin, Lumber, and Rourke. This one going to be interesting.
I'm very excited, in particular for the Rourke. We haven't seen any super effective Rourke play yet, but he's been hyped up a ton. I want to see someone make him work.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Rourke has one of the lowest winning percentages here at the World Cup.
And that's because he's been played a lot, and none of it's really, I feel, come through. People are very prepared for him to be powerful because of him on the live server, but none of it's converted just yet.
Yeah, and a little KSA Pooty Poots on Cray early to start things off, but still the Spear couldn't follow up there from Kid. And now they're disengaging, but man, KSSA, he is being really aggressive right now. Potentially getting caught out here by the Ren, getting popped up.
He's got the Pooty Poots. That's a nice little speed boost. You can zoom away from trouble. It used to be much more effective, of course, at that, but post-nerf Teamy is still a very speedy boy.
Yeah, he's very speedy indeed. Boys, right? Aren't they brothers?
Yes. We don't acknowledge it, but yes, there are multiple people in that suit of armor. I think it's actually T and me, if you want to get specific.
Or me and T?
No, they go in that order. It's like TJ and Rip, you know?
What about Rip and TJ?
No, there's a specific order.
I would question that one, but here we go. Looks like they're going to fight over this might go. Romeo getting chunked!
Sorry, I questioned the Rourke. Unfortunately, there's more people here to question the Rourke, and ZRK will be shut down. That's a very nice first blood.
Boy, how did that turn around so quickly? And they're still fighting over this Might Golem. They're not done just yet. South America's like, man, we got to get it. We can lose ZRK, but we got to get the Might Golem.
The problem is it's been a bit of mixed coordination. You could see Cray wasn't quite aware they were sticking round, and as a result, they're not able to thoroughly punish anything or go for any major plays.
Yeah, but Thailand Wildcard now. 3-man rotation back to mid. 1-3-1 overall on the map, and Taku just trying to farm it up right now.
We haven't talked much about it. We've seen quite a bit of Scud here at the Valor series. I think people are very big fans of him because of what Thailand and the region of Thailand did with him. He's got a 16% win rate coming into today.
1-6 or 6-0?
1-6. 16.
What? Wow, I really thought he was doing much better than that.
Yeah, so did I, but he's just not really achieving many of his goals, and I think other characters, other tank characters, are simply better.
And you see the first dragon there going out to the tower side. They're going to dive on the tower for
Nice
Taku, and they get him.
Very nice lasso, and it will pick up an easy kill. Cray needs to hold this for South America, but Romeo's just dancing through the middle of them all.
Yeah, he's got to dance back to the top lane, though, because Rourke is poking at his tower already.
And Rourke does do a lot of tower damage, not as much as he does on the... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you see him just walking away over there.
I'm mixed up because Rourke on the live server actually stacks his passive onto the tower.
Right.
So you can see those Rourke's 2-shot towers. Tournament server, that bug has been fixed.
Very nice.
So he's not nearly as effective.
Yeah, Thailand right now, all of their heroes, level 4 or higher, just Cray behind a little bit on the South America side.
Speaking of dance moves, that was a nice little dodge of the chainland, seeing it coming and spending the rampage preemptively.
And ZRK, does he know Romeo? He has no idea.
He's able to bully Romeo back, though. Even on the tournament server, Rourke is still a force to be reckoned with, particularly if he's able to get out ahead, spend his ultimate, and take a sustained fight.
Yeah, that power glove did so much damage to him. Well played there, and he's nice retreat, too, back to his tower after that little engage.
Yeah, you can see Romeo's not really interested in taking a solid fight. He just wants to poke and back off.
And Thailand here looking for a bush gank to get the nature wrapped
fight.
into mischief into the moonfall, and boom! That will be an easy kill.
Nice combo. You know that if you find the stuns within the moonfall, you're basically guaranteed the pick.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there.
Mid-lane pressure still coming through. Myth with the mark punches, trying to dive Crixie. And I do think Flash is the answer to Crixie, but maybe not with this level difference that's being built up in favor of
Pooty
Thailand.
Poots all the way under the tower, and the follow-up with the flying spear.
Oh, ZRK's not quite able to find anything, and now he's in big trouble. Myth pops the Cyclone. He's focused on Kit, but he gets nothing. They all survive.
Unfortunate there for South America. What an impressive dive. That Pooty Poots, the teamie, they are making it work right now for sure.
Myth and Cray are both nearby. They're trying to work their way back towards the fight. You can see that Abyssal, in the meantime, was slain in favor of South America. That will help with the gold deficits that are building up against them. But this is the effect of a real man's gold deficit.
Yeah. Man, Thailand now, 2K gold up. They're going to try to get even another tower. We're just 5 minutes into this first game, barely, and they are running away with it. More Pooty Poots for you, too!
And that's big damage, a double kill surely picked up. Kissa, I've never had so much fun hearing you say Pooty Poots.
It's so much fun to say it. We don't ever get many teamies. He's always banned.
And that's why you could find this big AoE stun opening up the fights and shutting down multiple players. There's our first Earth Splitter, mostly used for lane clear. Cyclone will come through.
Kissa in trouble, but no.
Back in. Remember, though,
look at him, he's going for the Pooty Poots!
Oh, my lord! He gets the resurrection. He'll be right back. Cray will just stay in the middle of this fight, though, and that
is he gonna
might be
survive?
enough.
No, he's not.
He can't get up. He's barely able to stay alive under the tower, and Drewy says no more.
That was ridiculous. Taku, he's chasing. He's like, I know you guys only have like a pixel. Where are you?
I don't think he can find them. He needs a compass.
He needs a compass. Oh, man, he is lost here. Look at the survive.
This?
Just a tiny pixel. Romeo with the save, with that Fury Charge, keeping Cray off him. Beautiful peel there. And then the Mischief coming out to close it out.
The resurrection being used boldly. That's, I think, a sign that Thailand Wildcard are entirely comfortable. You shouldn't feel comfortable diving under a tower and spending that resurrection instantly, because you want it if there's big damage coming through to save both you and an ally. Instead, he just uses it on himself to give his team an entrance.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. 15 seconds before this next Abyssal Dragon is going to spawn. And Thailand Wildcard is sitting with an 8-1 kill lead. And we're just at the 6-minute, 20-second mark.
Tycoon is nearby. Romeo and Kissa. I don't think either of them are terribly concerned to go for him.
They're going to dive again?
There's
you
the
know they are.
Oh, the Wild Beast pushing it back. There's the nice play to shut him down. You can see Kissa actually standing just at the edge of the tower, eating the tower shots so that he could step out when he got extra low.
And look at this early Dark Slayer from South America attempt. But here comes Townsend Drewy. Who's going to get it?
Man.
South America gets it.
I don't think it's enough to win this fight, though. ZRK goes down to Drewy. Myth falls as well. You may have the Dark Slayer, but you have no players left to bear it.
They got a Lumber with it. Lumber with Dark Slayer. What are you going to do, buddy?
Regenerate really quickly.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. This is getting ugly. Thailand Wildcard, 12-1 kill lead, 7-minute mark. They're already pushing at the high ground towers. This might be a really quick game. High ground towers down already.
I don't know how or what you do in the face of all this. Another tower to fall. That's going to be the super minions now pouring down the mid lane.
Yeah, and here we are back at the top lane. They're going to let it go for now. Maybe they're just going to regroup a bit. They've got a huge lead. They can do whatever they want. They're going to take it into Abyssal Dragon. Why not? There's no challenge from it anywhere in sight.
They heard we were keeping track of gold per minute statistics.
They're like, wait a second. We can earn that. No one's going to challenge us. Let's go farm right now. Jungle's open.
Make the coach happy.
Make the coach happy. That's his job right now, to just look at the stats. Your stats are really good out there. Well done.
You do still have the Dark Slayer buff, so that may be part of the newfound passive play on Thailand Wildcard. It's applied, of course, to anyone who's dead and respawns. That's why Taiku has it. He was out of the fight when the Slayer kill came through.
Gotcha. And right now, it looks like South America is going to try to rotate up here on this Wonder Woman.
Gank. Nice attempt. The problem is this butterfly's nearby. The Wonder Woman has the stall out. Nice Earth Splitter Cyclone combo. Will find a kill, but the resurrection is there, and Drewy's finding big damage. The RK falls first. I don't think they have a follow-up, and indeed there's big trouble for South America. Myth may have an answer, but not for long. He trades for one. Drewy goes down, and that is it. South America are left with Cray as the only defender.
He's the only one. A 4-for-none exchange for Thailand Wildcard. And oh my gosh, Cray with just a tiny pixel. Are they trying to clean him up?
He can't even defend the base. He won't be able to get back in time. This should be Thailand Wildcard punching their way through in seed number 2 to out of the group stage.
Yeah, man, dominating fashion. And that, my friends, is why you ban Teamy.
Yes, I should think so too. Teamy, absolutely spectacular.
Look at him. He looks like he got pooty-pooted on.
I don't know.
It's a fact.
Yes, he does. I didn't know I knew how to recognize that expression.
That's what it is.
But that is indeed what he looks like. Unfortunately, South America will be going home in the group stage. And you hate to see it, but I think they should be very proud of the potential they did show. The entire region will certainly develop further past this. I can't wait to see what comes out of LATAM teams in the future.
Without a doubt. And, anytime, no matter what team you're on, when you come into a World Cup sort of situation and you go down like this, you're going to be thinking about it all year long. You want to come back next year even stronger. Let's go and look at the score recap now. On screen, you see Romeo there with the Scud 3-0, Kid with the Slim 6-0, Taos 3-0, and Drewy 4-2, 16-2 overall. They were just unstoppable this game.
Romeo didn't find nearly as much value this time, and Drewy was only responsible for 34% of his team's damage. How dare he, the slacker?
What a slacker!
Unfortunately for the South Americans, the rest of the damage was evenly spread out. I'd like to highlight Taos because he ended the day with 40% of his team's damage taken. 40%. Although Wonder Woman, that's quite significant because Wonder Woman has no major resurrections or any fancy tricks like that. It's all down to the bracelets of submission. Great placement, using the bracelets for a stun, the little shielding, and a disengage.
Right.
If you're able to do that repeatedly, you're likely taking a lot of focus meant for your lower HP teammates and then being able to disengage successfully.
Indeed, and let's take a look at some of the replays from this game. I mean, this was such an aggressive invade from KSA once he had that teammate Kid closing out that first kill. Mischief to poke again, and look at this. Anytime he has an opportunity, Pooty Poos with some Moonfall behind it. Yikes.
Yikes is the right word for that combo. I love this Cyclone in particular because it shows just how aware the Thailand Wildcard team are. They're entirely capable of getting all the way out of that major ultimate, and those dives.
Yeah, those dives were just absolutely ridiculous. And right here, it looked like South America had a great combo with the Earth Splitter, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, that late into the game when you're that far behind, I don't blame them at all for the Hail Mary Dark Slayer play. And they did get a credit to them. It was the right play. Unfortunately, it was not enough.
And there you have it. Thailand Wildcard with the victory. They're going to be moving on to the quarterfinals of the Arena Valor World Cup.
We do have still the draw tonight. We're going to have to go through and figure out which teams are in which positions in the quarterfinals.
Right, so we're going to have 8 teams left. They're going to be part of this draw, and we're going to see who's going to be playing who in the next few days.
And that's very important. So if you're thinking about tuning out, maybe stick around for just a few moments longer so that we can get into that, because I think it will vastly change the outcome of the World Cup.
Alrighty, so it sounds like Matt is going to be standing right now with the winners, Thailand Wildcard. Let's go ahead and send it on over down to Matt.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much, Rip and TJ. Yes, this is indeed going to sort out some things in the World Cup. We will do that draw just after this, so don't disappear because you'll find out who's going to be playing who in the quarterfinals. Quarterfinalists, though, our last team to make it through the quarterfinals, Thailand Wildcard. Congratulations, Kit. I think this was a group where you probably thought you were going to make it out. I'd like to know about the preparation that they've done for the whole thing.
ก็เขาอยากรู้ว่าแบบเหมือนก่อนมาแข่งอะครับในการรายการนี้เตรียมตัวยังไงมาบ้างอะไรอย่างงี้
ก็อย่างที่รู้กันนะครับว่าที่ประเทศไทยของเรามีการจัด AWC Bootcamp ซึ่งก็มีการเตรียมตัวอะไรหลายๆอย่างไม่ว่าจะเป็นการซ้อมทีมกับทีมที่มาแข่งขันนี้ก็หลายๆอย่างแล้วก็ซ้อมกับทีมต่างชาติบ้างซ้อมกับทีมไทยบ้างก็เตรียมความพร้อมได้เท่านี้ครับ
So basically, what he says that since the boot camp, they have been practicing with a lot of the foreign team, like the Korean team and Taiwan team. So that's all they do. So every day, scream. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you prepare for a world championship. But with Korea and Thailand in particular, so that's interesting to know who he thinks, who would Kit like to face in the quarterfinals.
โอเคก็ในรอบ8ทีมสุดท้ายที่บอกเมื่อกี้อยากเจอใครครับที่สุด
เอาจริงๆแล้วก็อยากจะลองแก้มือกับทีมไชน่าอีกรอบแต่เหมือนจะเป็นไปไม่ได้ครับก็อยากเจอที่สุดก็น่าจะเป็นไต้หวัน
So actually, if possible, they actually want to face with China again because they want to take some revenge. But yeah, because the rules cannot pick off the same group. So who they want to face is next is Taiwan Chinese Taipei team.
Chinese Taipei. Okay, yeah, you won't be able to face China yet, but you might get them later on in the tournament. We'll find out very soon. Congratulations, Kit. So, our 8 quarterfinalists are all determined. Next, we're going to mix up who's going to play who. There's a draw. Don't disappear. I'll bring you the results of that. Before we do, let's go back over to our casters. Just talk a little bit about the action we've seen today.
Thank you very much, Matthew Lee Andrews. It's been a spectacular day of play, and we're just going to take a look back at the standings and then go through each of the games. We'll close things off tonight with that group draw we've been talking so much about.
Right here you see in Group A, Thailand coming out number 1 with the 4-1, and North America securing their spot going 2-2 in the group stage. Group B, we've got Chinese Taipei going 4-1 as well, tying Thailand basically, and Vietnam coming out in second place there with the 3-2. And then Group C, 4-1 for Korea, Chinese Taipei wildcard 3-3. Group D, China 4-0, the only 4-0 we've got. And Thailand wildcard 2-2.
Let's start things off by going back to that match 1 because it was a fun one. That was where the bald eagle reigns supreme, soaring over the competition as America punched out into the second place in dominant fashion over Singapore.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Rest and Sleepy really showed up today. They came to play, they got the job done. And the story of this game really was the towers. You know, like the kills were very close, but NA did such a good job of taking all of those towers down.
And I was very impressed by that. North America managed to demonstrate that they've grown a ton as a team. Our Legions have always looked clean. Here they looked superb. And I was very excited as well to see this combo. Alice, Crixie are so good together, and Sleepy looked spectacular this entire set.
Yeah, this was the first time today that we saw this combo, and this I remember Tainted getting caught out there after landing that mischief. And you know, NA was doing just so well. I was so impressed with them. When they played against Thailand and all of those matches they had, Thailand, of course, the #1 seed, every time they played them, they were even with them the whole time, but they couldn't get the towers. And this was the exact opposite of that.
I was actually talking to Nijaki of Tencent Esports in between the sets. We were eating a great cake together.
What kind of cake?
I think it was a cheesecake, but I'm
cheesecake.
not a cake expert. The point was, North America actually has a 60% win rate or something like that against China. So everyone was talking through the groups, trying to work out how North America can get into that stage in front of the home crowd, maybe receive that boost. And the quarterfinals, frankly, look dire in a lot of matchups. One of them that might be interesting, if they're able to draw it, though, would be China.
Yeah, most definitely. But, you know, China right now, they are the team that seems the strongest. I mean, Thailand, of course, was the #1 seed. They lost one game, and that was, of course, only when they had these kind of weird picks and bans that one game. So I feel like China and Thailand still kind of an equal footing back there.
Yeah, it's fun to watch the Chinese team because they're just playing their own meta. It really does feel they come, of course, from a slightly different edition of the game. They're a team that is played in the King Pro League, one of the longest-running competitive leagues for mobile gaming, period. So they're so experienced, but they kind of have to adapt to Arena of Valor, and we're seeing them do that in some interesting ways. Until now, I don't think they've been fully adapted enough. They've been relying exclusively on their team play and game knowledge, but they haven't had the specific knowledge of the hero balance in this edition.
Sure.
This time, here, though, you have to wonder how much have they figured out given the break since the boot camp.
Exactly what we need to figure out from them. But let's go and let's move on to what we had for game number 2 earlier today. Of course, that was Chinese Taipei going up against Indonesia. Indonesia needed to come out of this one with a 2-0 to advance.
Indonesia, unfortunately, was not able to pick that up. We had some moments where they looked great, and of course, Indonesia were a team I was certainly rooting for because they were, of the third seed teams in all of these groups, they were my favorite to advance. They were the team I thought has the most chance of pulling out an upset in their group.
Indonesia?
Yeah, they had a group with Vietnam. They played an incredibly close set there. They were a team I wanted to see show up.
Yeah, and Caraway for Indonesia had so many great Devil's Chains throughout this entire set.
Another series that puts an exclamation mark on my declaration of Grak superiority.
Grak superiority. I mean, we saw some Grak. I don't know about Grak superiority, but Caraway there getting pulled apart a little bit when he switched over to the Alice pick. And, you know, Chinese Taipei, they were just so strong overall throughout this whole thing. And, like, look at that beautiful spear. And Benny actually missing the Devil's Chain right beside him was pretty funny to see. But regardless, it didn't even matter. Chinese Taipei running away with the huge lead. Moonfall coming down, everything just falling apart. Huge shock from Wins, and Wins Malik throughout the entire set was so effective as well.
when you can see that Crixie work so well with his CC combo like that, you see the World Devour in that last fight. That was a great example in the highlight reel. You have the World Devour and the Shock. So if anyone gets free of the World Devour, they're instantly having to go through the Impact Crater from Shock and getting a slow from that. And the Crixie's just happily hoovering up everyone, firing off that
Hoovering?
Yeah, it's like a or a Roomba. Roomba's a better comparison. Because it's just kind of an automated circle of destruction.
With the Moonfall.
Yes.
Yes.
And anyone who's caught in it is instantly melted, particularly if there is not enough room for them to really keep moving, keep running away.
Gotcha. Let's move on to game number 3, actually. Of course, that one was Chinese Taipei Wildcard this time.
Oh, this match.
Yeah, versus Europe, and this one got a little bit wild.
I thought it was coming home.
You thought it was coming up to Europe, your hometown? San Francisco?
I spent so much of this match. This was where I was out back with my fingers crossed for Europe, and we were unfortunately unable to see them come out on top, but I was holding my breath all 3 games.
Yeah, this game one, of course, Superman being led through, and Rez doing so much work with Superman. It was fun to watch.
People say Superman's OP. I disagree. Rez is OP.
You think so? That's the whole key?
That man is one of the most mechanically skilled players in Europe, maybe the world.
Maybe the world. No, I definitely agree. He is fantastic to watch. I really enjoy watching him play. But at the end of the day, despite getting that first game and the kills always being so close, you know, it just didn't really work out for them at the end.
And a huge part of that, I think, was Hua Lin, who deserves a shout-out of his own. On the Mage, he just dominated every single series. I've yet to see him underperform.
Yeah, definitely not. Without also forgetting to admit Shanya or 11 or NT. I mean, MG as well. With all the split pushes he had throughout the series, he was kind of an all-star that was kind of underrepresented in that set.
Yeah, MG just accelerates down lanes, chews through towers. It's very fun to watch. And I think that's a major difference between the European, the Western meta, and many of the Asian teams. The Asian teams have figured out the value of split pushes, whereas the Western teams, I think, struggle at times to get it going. They still very much favor playing as a team.
Right, yeah, the Western teams, from what I've seen so far, they like to rotate together, especially late game, right? Right. But from the Asian teams, we've seen this Omen pushing side lane. We've seen Tara pushing side lane. We've seen Lubu pushing side lane. It's just something that's very, very common, especially late into the game.
Yeah, there's constantly a player just moving on their own, completely separated.
Right.
That's, I think, what makes Allegiance or Team North America so fun as a Western team, is they're one of the few teams that regularly has that cross-map aggression.
Yeah, so definitely something we should be keeping an eye on as we get further off into these quarterfinals. But of course, match number 4, we just saw it go down a second ago. It was Thailand Wildcard versus South America. South America coming in here as the biggest underdogs in the series.
And it was hard to predict a victory for them, but they still showed up. And again, for South America, as the first international showing for the LATAM region, you can't take this too hard. You can't say, oh no, South America, they'll never be good. You have to instead treat it as this is a show match. This is a sign of potential, and we did see that. Myth's Mage play was exceptional. ZRK had his own individual cool plays, and my star player is Taiku.
Taiku?
Yes, playing
part
that
of it?
split lane. He did it on a variety of different characters, and he was consistently able to do well even against Romeo, who's currently one of the most terrifying split laners in the World Cup. I'm very interested to see what he's able to do next. The other thing, of course, to highlight from this set on the winning side would be Thailand Wildcard's play on this teaming. If you ever wondered, why don't you let teaming through draft? This is why. Kissa, a very good support player in his own right, and he was constantly able to back up Drewy, who did, 45% of his team's damage one of these games? It was insane! And I love myself a good Crixie as much as anyone else, but when you have something like that, when you have a complete denial of any ground gained against the Crixie, it's not beautiful to watch anymore. It's just disgusting.
I mean, it's kind of nice to see Crixie getting shut down once in a while at least, right? I mean, do we have her win percentage? I feel like she just did so fantastic in the last 3 days or so.
Crixie actually is only sitting at 63.6% coming into today.
That sounds pretty good.
That's buffed up a bit, but we have definitely seen her get shut down a few times. Indonesia versus Vietnam, it was the Flash that found a lot of dive, and that does seem to be the answer to Crixie. We saw a different response to Crixie attempting to come through out of Europe. They were playing a lot of repositioning characters as opposed to dive characters. If you can pull the Crixie out of position with something like a Grak, maybe you can find the combos, but that's difficult to land. It relies a lot on mechanical skill. If you don't hit those skill shots, things get dicey very quickly.
Right, because Alice, like Crixie, very low mobility. So both those characters, Grak, pretty good counter for him if you can land those devil chains. But don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're actually going to have the bracket draw to determine
We've got a spinny wheel. It's the best. It takes up the entire wall of the studio, and it's a spinny wheel that cycles through the teams. It's super cool.
I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to take his word for it.
Genuinely.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this break.
everyone, today I'm going to introduce Batman. Batman is an assassin superhero who depends upon his ability to deal explosive levels of damage. Batman is able to weave in and out of battle by himself and break down enemy ranks. Passive skill, Caped Crusader. Batman bends himself to the shadows. He will gain a 20% increased movement speed when he nears an enemy hero. However, this speed boost will disappear should he leave with his back turned to the enemy hero. So Batman is able to rely on this speed boost effect to easily hunt and slay enemy forces as they flee while low on health. Skill 1, Forearm Strike. Batman releases a quick blade that deals damage to nearby enemies, followed by a second attack against a random enemy next to him, dealing the same quantity of damage. This is an area of effect skill, and the second attack preferences striking enemy heroes. His first skill is certain to deal grief in 2 stages to the enemy when he faces only one enemy hero. Skill 2, Batarang. Batman will throw out a batarang that damages enemies and reduces their movement speed. This is a straight line area of effect skill that, after 3 seconds, will also cause enemies to suffer physical damage equivalent to 24% of the HP they just lost. If enemies who have suffered from Batman's second skill are struck again by Batman within 3 seconds, they will become dizzy and enable Batman to restore some of his HP. Deal a lot of damage after you just release the second skill during battle, and you'll boost the damage you inflict after 3 seconds to its maximum extent. Skill 3, Dark Knight. Batman uses his natural affinity with bats to make himself invisible after 1.5 seconds. This skill will last for 30 seconds, during which time, if it is released again, Batman will appear and launch an attack in your designated direction. This skill has a line-based area of effect. If you are invisible and wait next to the enemy for more than 3 seconds, this will dispel the invisibility at a slightly greater range than for the skill. Of course, Batman will also dispel his invisibility if he inflicts damage on enemies. In any case, enemies further away from Batman will start to notice something is amiss when he is invisible, and an alert will appear over their heads. So you have to grab the opportunity once your third ability makes you invisible. Get close to enemies and then release all your skills on them. Typically, Batman will damage enemies using his second and first skills together. One use of Batman's second skill is sometimes enough to take out an enemy when they are low on health. Should Batman not be doing very well, he can activate his third ability to slip away from the field easily. Batman would normally first use his ultimate to hide himself in the shadow. Then, after getting close to his enemies, strike with his second skill and unleash all his skills in a quick flurry of takedowns. Of course, you can also reserve his ultimate for a second release, and it may get used again as enemies flee. In summary, Batman possesses super rating skills and can easily deal explosive damage for a win. Thanks for watching today's Hero Spotlight of Batman. See you next time. Hi everyone! The hero we are introducing today is Superman. Superman can crash enemy team formation as a warrior or can quickly finish enemy targets when they are running low. Speed is power. If you are not a tanky hero, then whenever you see a Superman flying, stay away from him. Passive Flight. Superman has 2 modes, flying and walking. He gains 2% movement speed and charges energy for every 100 units he walks, and takes flight once energy is fully charged. Flight mode grants 20% movement speed when moving towards an enemy, and his normal attacks deal additional damage equal to 12% of his own maximum HP. Superman exits flight mode when he is hit with a control effect that lowers his movement speed to 375 or less. Superman's passive is the key to deal high damage, so make sure he can be in flying mode as frequently as possible. To make sure he can take off quickly, a recommended item is Gilded Greaves. It can prevent Superman from being slowed down. First ability, Kryptonian Strength. Superman uses his ice breath to generate a blizzard that deals physical damage to enemies and slows their movement speed by 50% for 1 second. If in flight mode, Superman rams into enemies, dealing 12% of maximum HP physical damage, and then fires his heat vision, dealing an additional physical damage. Superman's main ability to deal damage, it is recommended to level up first. If Superman is in flying mode, the first ability can also knock back enemy targets. That being said, you can now get behind enemy's team and push them to your teammates or tower. Second ability, Man of Steel. Superman unleashes his full power, which immediately frees him from control effects and significantly increases his movement speed. If in flight mode, Superman will slam the ground and knock back enemies, dealing physical damage as well as rid himself of control effects and increase his movement speed. Although Superman's second ability can boost movement speed, but due to its long cooldown, it's not a good idea to use it at first. Try waiting for enemies' control abilities, then unleash Man of Steel to offset them. Ultimate Speeding Bullet. Superman taps into his full potential, which increases his charge-up speed by 100% for 10 seconds. If in flight mode, Superman will ram into his enemies and knock them back, dealing physical damage, and have his charge-up speed increased by 100% for 10 seconds. While flying, Superman's ultimate is a crowd control ability. He can use it to push away enemies' targets when teammates are running low. When playing Superman, here are some of the tips to remember. 1. Superman can provide fast support. After cleaning the waves, Superman should always be looking for support opportunities in the first time. This will make it easy to outnumber opponents and win the battle. 2. Superman is a great threat to enemies' squishy heroes, so attack from behind enemies' team is definitely a good choice. If successful, this can nuke down enemies' carry in seconds. 3. Purify and Execute is recommended for Summoner's skill. Purify can prevent Superman from being slowed down to make sure he can fly, while Execute can boost Superman's damage to nuke down enemy. Thanks for watching today's episode. See you again next time.
เขาถามว่าอะไรนะรู้สึกไงบ้างที่มาไทยรู้สึกดีครับที่จะได้มาเห็นวัฒนธรรมไทยหลายๆอย่างครับก็น่าจะได้ไปเที่ยวหลายๆที่มั้งแล้วก็ได้กินอาหารไทยอะไรอย่างนี้ครับผมคิดว่าอาหารไทยเป็นอาหารที่อร่อยดีก็ไม่มีทีมไหนที่กังวลที่จะเจอครับแต่ว่าจริงๆแล้วในทัวร์นาเมนต์นี้ก็ประมาทไม่ได้สักทีมครับ
ดูบ้านเราตอนนี้ไม่ต้องเอาป้อมถ้ามันไปลุมเพื่อนเอามังกร
ก็อยากได้แชมป์ครับผมแต่ว่าถ้าไม่ได้แชมป์ก็หวังว่าจะได้อันดับที่ดีที่สุดแล้วก็เอาความภาคภูมิใจไปให้ประเทศไทยครับ
保持进攻。那种空抓队友都在旁边的话，就可以上。哦，熊他大绝啊，要一起被吸。
他抓到也可以直接帮。
对，他那种抓到了就也可以直接灌他。所以如果考克我们不能全部都拿后排阵，你们不能需要一个前排，就不能有莉莉安、爱丽丝进，因为其中一个被抓进去就死了，所以要配要有图人。可是用坦克，就是沃马那种就可以了，就可以碾过去了。因为你不可能3个后排嘛，爱丽丝、景跟莉莉安。如果他们真的考克的话，就选沃马就好。然后拿个 因为我可以站在前面可以被抓。
对啊，射手游戏。如果没有的话，就拿射飞吧。好，我看财报人。因为他们前期强势度跟我们一样，就是谁先拿到优势的话，那谁就会赢这样子。如果他们抢我们的射手的话，我们就会用刺客阵把他们瓦解。
Dropping low, Mimak getting sniped by the Thunderbird. That is the end of Thailand's first game. TPE take game 1. Here comes the dash. One last overtake. Now they connect. I think they're going for the call. Here comes everyone just pounds onto it. Thailand close this out. 12 minutes into game 2. They bring it to a game 3 and you can look at the cheers. TH evens out the series against TPE. And Thailand sweeps TPE in this 2-1 reverse victory.
等一下应该就是正常，就是2点开始打那个越南队。对啊，打越南队啊。越南之前有练习过吗？有啊，我觉得还 OK。我觉得今天是机会应该是蛮，就是应该是还 OK。如果正常发挥的话，我們應該是不會輸。
Thực sự ra thì trong trận đấu hôm nay thì mình có rất là nhiều thứ để mà đánh giá về cái đội hình mới của đại diện Việt Nam. Thì thứ nhất là nó quan trọng ở mặt gọi là sự kết nối với các thành viên. Thì mình cũng muốn coi để sự kết nối mới là như thế nào. Thực sự ra nó cũng rất là quan trọng hơn nữa, đó là để mình biết được thực lực thực sự của Taiwan 2 nó mạnh ra sao, để mình còn cố gắng và tiếp tục ở trong vòng AWC sắp tới.
第一场基本上就是因为有点急了，没有耐住，其实我觉得可以守住了。那一场其实可以很有机会翻盘，那就是输了嘛。那我们就想办法打2、3场。然后我们第2场就有效的限制他们的前期的一些阵容，然后就赢了。但第3场又更克制的输了。
3、2、1，台湾跑，我这边。
Taiwan too is very strong. Even they are the all-star team, we need to be careful and they understand about the opponent. Because when we are going to the draft mode, we can see about that. They all understand about us. They all know what they need to do to against us and the strategy to do it. Yeah, I think they are very, very good.
เขาย้อมผมคนละสีเวลาเทจัดทีนี้อะไรนะทำไมย้อมผมสีนี่ทีมนี้แหละไอ้เหี้ยทีมนี้แหละทีมไต้หวัน2เหมือนเกมที่แล้วไงรับอีกฝั่งรับอีกฝั่งเล่นไม่ได้เลยตายรัวๆ
คิดว่าวันนี้ก็ถ้าอย่างมากที่สุดก็อาจจะชนะ เพราะว่าในการซ้อมทีมเราก็ค่อนข้างโอเคกับผลลัพธ์ที่ออกมาแต่ก็ไม่แน่เขาอาจจะยังไม่เปิดแผนที่แท้จริงก็ได้ก็ต้องไปดูในเกมครับก็อุปสรรคของทีมของเราครับก็จากผลลัพธ์หลายๆอย่างก็คือทีมอันดับ1ของไทยเราก็ไปซ้อมมาก็แพ้บ้างอะไรบ้างซึ่งทีม1ก็ต้องเก่งกว่าทีม2อยู่แล้วทีเนี้ย ถ้าทีม 1แพ้แล้วทีม 2จะชนะยังไงมันก็ค่อนข้างตัดสินใจยากมันก็เลยเป็นอุปสรรคด้านผลลัพธ์ของจิตใจด้วยสภาพจิตใจ
Immediately stay focused on the court and shut them down. Game number 2 between Thailand versus Korea. The core will be broken down there with 2 straight games going to Team Korea.
觉得北美的中路玩的还蛮凶的，我觉得可以针对一下中路，然后做前期消耗之类的。
We're looking for scrims. Do you guys have like a WeChat or anything?
We have a pretty good chance of beating China. I think they are probably a really strong team. They defeated Korea this morning as well, so it's going to be a good tell of where we stand at the moment. And I just want to go into it with the idea that we have a lot to learn from the matchup and not have too high of expectations of the result.
真刺激呢！
拜拜。
哎，九三，你确认是吧？来吧。你们是要上厕所的，还是去？比赛期间不能上厕所。
比赛的时候相信队友。
Our biggest challenge was adapting our draft to fit more of the world meta right now.
Yeah, the meta is a lot different here than in North America. It's a lot more focused towards objective play and knocking down turrets. In America, there's a lot more skirmishes, so I think we're getting a hang of it. We've only been able to scrim a few times.
I think it went a little bit better than expected. We didn't really expect to go in and win the way we did. We actually should have won both matches, but we kind of made a lot of mistakes that we shouldn't have made. And I think we can just look at it and improve, really.
China takes down North America.
And now China just pull out another reverse sweep for today.
他们那波他不主动找我呢，我不会吧？因为他下可以自爆的，这样就抓不死3个人，抓不死他，你懂我意思吧？这个游戏抓不死他怎么打这波团嘛？就这波团，为什么不能接呢？我就没搞懂。你老子想要带不死，我抓不死我带线。而且还有翻盘点的嘛，大哥，还没懂意思。3个可以吃很多气。对呀，他怎么下去的？他都中了核桃才下去的，那兔子，最背的一个兔子中了核桃才下去的。没打你。打了的，打得好，打了一会儿，打了一会儿，我看了的。对，没先把他打死啊，这没有绝对吧？但反正我不是说你，我只是说，就是你带不你说的信息什么都要给到你，因为很多像现在的东西你自己可以看，你不需要他们每次播给你报，就这东西可以自己看，不需要一定要报给你听，因为你中国强国。
For example, we also watch a lot of the Asia teams, but we cannot put in practice in our server, because it doesn't work because like everything is different.
，Tá bem ansioso por esse jogo. A gente treinou bastante essa semana também. E tem esse termo de nervosismo também, né? Por a gente ser a primeira vez num campeonato fora do nosso país, onde um cenário competitivo é maior. Então dá um pouquinho de nervoso, mas a gente tá bem confiante, sim.
Mas a gente não conhece tão bem nosso adversário, porém eles também não nos conhecem.
This is my first time to play with a professional all around the world, so I expect that we can learn a lot from them. The biggest challenge is that our main member can come here because of the passport, so we will try our best to win the game tonight, since it's our first game and it's very important.
Welcome back to the Arena of Valor World Cup and to our draw for our quarter-final stages, which will be taking place tomorrow and the day after, live here from Los Angeles. And remember, this tournament, a huge world championship, the first one ever in the history of Arena of Valor, and it has the biggest prize pool in mobile esports history of $550,000 US. So yeah, we all need to get this right. It's quarterfinals draw time. 4 teams have made it already out of the into the quarterfinals as top of their groups. They are, of course, Thailand, Korea, Chinese Taipei, and China. They've topped their 4 groups respectively. And on this side of our studio over here, we have the captains of the teams who are runners-up respectively: Thailand Wildcard, Vietnam, North America, and Chinese Taipei Wildcard. What we're going to do here is reveal the results of the draw. It's taken place, it's all been officially vetted by Tencent and Garena, and now is when the teams will find out exactly who they are facing. All of our top tier teams, the teams who topped their groups, will face the runner-up of another group, and it's time to reveal who they are. So first, Sherry from Thailand. These are your potential opponents: Thailand Wildcard, Vietnam, North America, and Chinese Taipei. I'd love to know who he hopes to get.
เขาถามว่าอยากเจอใครครับในรอบต่อไป
จริงๆเจอใครก็ได้ครับเพราะว่าทุกทีมเก่งเท่ากันหมด
so he said like can be anyone because every team is a strong team.
Okay. Every team is a strong team. You don't mind which one you're going to get. Well, it's time to find out. Now, of course, Thailand came top of Group A. North America are the runners-up of Group A, so you cannot draw North America, as you've already faced them in the group stage. So Thailand will be facing either Vietnam, Taipei Wildcard, or Thailand Wildcard. Let's find out now. Thailand get Chinese Taipei Wildcard. Can we get Taipei Wildcard? Come on over. Hualin, you are going to be facing Sherry in our first quarterfinal. Shake hands, gentlemen. That's our first quarterfinal. Thailand against Chinese Taipei Wildcard. How do you feel about that, Sherry?
รู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
รู้สึกไม่ค่อยดีใจเท่าไหร่
not too happy with with the drawing.
Let's go over to our analysts and see what they think of this prospective matchup.
Thank you very much, Matt. That is huge. If there were two teams rather that I think will match up super tightly, it would be that.
Yeah, because they have a similar play style. I don't believe you, Moss. I think you wanted like Vietnam or something. Because Chinese Taipei, Wildcard, they play the same. They play Nakroth too, like Thailand does, right? They play Ari, they play Grak, Zanis, right? It's very similar play style. So that means both teams understand how to play against each other, which is going to make for a very, very interesting matchup.
That's going to be a massive quarterfinal. I personally think that also makes things very interesting for the rest of the pool, because those are, I would say, 2 of the best teams already matched up against each other.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see his reaction when he found out it was Chinese Taipei. He was like, oh my goodness. So it's going to be an awesome matchup.
He said he didn't care. I think he did. I think that was definitely a little bit of a bummed reaction.
Yeah, and we're going to send it right back to Matt for the next pull, the next draw.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think he cared. That's in the books, though. Let's find out who the next one's going to be. With us, Uzong, congratulations for being the top of Group B. That means you can't face Vietnam, as you had them in the group stages. So of the second-place teams in the groups who remain, it will be Thailand Wildcard or North America. Does he have a preference between Thailand Wildcard and North America?
你在剩下的2队中有没有特别想要选谁？
我觉得都可以，因为我们只是不想要抽到就是台湾外卡队。
He says he only didn't want to get Taipei wildcard team, but since they've already been drawn, then he doesn't have any other worries.
Okay, your main worry is out of the way. Well, let's find out who are going to be their opposition. Oh. It's Thailand Wildcards against Chinese Taipei in one of our quarterfinals. We'll get a handshake between our two captains. That's an exciting quarterfinal, I think. Sujay and TJ, what do you think about that one?
Strongest teams back-to-back matched up against each other.
Yeah, and they have different play styles in terms of their compositions. If you look at Thailand Wildcard, they love Scud, Omega, Zeno. Thailand likes to fight a lot. And if you look at Chinese Taipei, they like to play the objective game. So it's one team likes to fight and one team likes to play rotations, push objectives. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup for them for sure.
And that's crucially Chinese Taipei playing Thailand in both of those quarterfinals we've drafted so far. And that means the only remaining teams, Korea, China in the top seed, North America and Vietnam in the second seed.
Yeah, and they're both very scary teams. You think about Korea, that's a team that everyone, they mentioned, right? That's a team that they don't want to face. And China has just performed. They're the only team that went 4-0 in all 3 days of the group stages. So North America and Vietnam, wonder which teams that they want to face against. So we're going to find out pretty soon here. So I'm very, very curious. But so far, it's been an exciting draw for both these groups.
I can't wait. Let's go back over the map. We have one more to go.
It's exciting so far. You're right. Chinese Taipei against Thailand Wildcard and Thailand against Chinese Taipei Wildcard. Yeah. That's a fight both ways, right? That's 2 quarterfinals done. Our next one will be the champions of Group C, Korea. Congratulations, J-Jack, for topping Group C. Your fellow team from Group C are done. Group D are done here as well. So it remains with North America or Vietnam. Both of those are possible opponents for you as they are from A and B, respectively. Who would J-Jack prefer out of North America and Vietnam?
누구를 선호하시겠어요? 베트남 아니면 북미요? 두 팀 다 강하기 때문에 누구를 만나든지 열심히 해서 우승할 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
Both teams are very strong, so whoever we meet, we're going to try our hardest and go for that win.
KG. Okay. North America or Vietnam. Remember, this is all our official process. The draw has been made. It's taking place with Tencent and Garena. Now we are just revealing the results to the team. Korea, your opponents in the quarterfinal are... Will it be North America or will it be Vietnam? North America coming up. Korea against North America in our third quarterfinal. Rest, you've got Korea to play against, and that will remain then that Group D's champions, China, will face Vietnam in a quarterfinal, which is the matchup that Vietnam wanted. They wanted that revenge match, so that's going to be our other quarterfinal. Korea will face North America, and China will face Vietnam. TJ, Sujay, all of our quarterfinals are ready for tomorrow and the day after.